Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday night segment of The Outer Realm. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM from the Gulf Coast, 107.7 FM from beautiful New Orleans. We're fully sponsored by the amazing people over at Folgers Coffee who have been a part of our journey for the last several years. So thank you, Folgers. We couldn't do it without you, nor would we want to. Also, big thank you to Justin Snicker, aka Dr. Snick, the Sonic Surgeon, for the contribution of his time, his music, and his voice for the intro you just heard. He's an award-winning composer of Halloween, horror, and sci-fi dark wave electronic music, which can be found on all of your favorite music streaming platforms. Also, huge thanks to Steve McGinnis, the artist behind our logos here at the show. Check him out on Facebook and Instagram. Also specializes in the horror and Halloween genre, but does amazing commission pieces of any sort. So tonight, you guys will, see her in the chat room. She comes in and supports us, and she, just really promotes the heck out of us. And she's just awesome. And I've really been looking forward to this because she's just lovely. How many times you hear me say that? It's just lovely. I like it. And I don't say it often enough, but she really is. And I'm just truly honored that she has agreed to come and share her story with us. So Polly Rodiman is an ET experiencer, and she's had a journey of various encounters, including beings like the mantis. I remember talking to Preston Dennis about this. I'm like, that's a very big bug. And he goes, I don't think you should look at it that way. I was like, okay, but I think it is, so it's fascinating because I've actually not met a lot of people who have had experience with them. And other experiences with, people that she calls the tent people and hybridization programs. And there's just so much to all of this. And she is taking the time to be here this evening, all the way from Israel. She's a champion for being up this late to be with us. So without further ado, Polly, hello. How are you?
Michelle, I am so happy to see you and to see you all, guys. Hello, everyone. This is great. Let's have a blast.
Oh, well, we're going to have so much fun. And the chat room's already, on fire. And welcome to all of Polly's people here too, because I know that her YouTube is also here. So welcome to everyone. And welcome. Hello, Heidi and Wayne and Kathy and Michelle. And keep working it up. Hold on, getting there. And we've got Matthew, we've got Kathy, we've got Kevin, and we've got all these new handles now are throwing me off because they're not everybody's names anymore. I'm just kind of reading through these handles going, do I know you? So Paramar, woohoo. So anybody I am missing, I do apologize. And welcome to all of you. So, wow, I'm thrilled that you're here. You have an incredible story, and I want to thank you also for all of the cross promotion that you do, coming into the chat room and supporting the show. So, thank you.
Oh no, it's really my pleasure. I really believe that we need to hold hands in our community. Being in the chats and sharing our content, we are each one of us trying to solve this huge puzzle. And so sharing our work is the best way. So it's my pleasure. It's really my pleasure. My
Oh,
honor.
well, I'm looking forward to hearing all about your journey. I'm an experiencer myself, and I know that it goes all over the place, and it's such a wonderful thing. And, how many there are not enough people, there's such fear being promoted out there, and to meet people who can just say, "No, it was actually a really great experience," is there's just not enough of it.
It's complicated because it takes a lot of time to gather enough courage, I think,
Yes.
to
Yes.
face the phenomenon not only with yourself but with society, you know.
Yes.
And unfortunately, criticizing and judgment is an everyday, and so people fear. Actually, I started talking about my experience only lately. I've been watching you for years, you know?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But
Wow.
only lately I started being more in the front, because either we do something or we just go to sleep, and I cannot, because I am a journalist by myself. So
Mhm.
searching and researching is part of my story. Everything
Mhm.
started actually when I was a little child. I think I had um like this huge, I am a very empath
Mhm.
person. I feel deeply
Mhm.
everything, energies, people. People don't need to talk. I just read their body languages and faces, and I can feel if it's pain or. And so
Mhm.
I guess sleeping for me was always an issue. I was always feeling things touching my legs, and I couldn't understand why. And I could not explain or ask my parents. There was this time that I remember I woke up, I was sleeping, and
Mhm.
something during my sleep told me, like, you need to wake up, you need to wake up. And when I woke up, I saw my sister sleeping on her bed in front of me, but next to her there was a huge tarantula, the size of a beetle car, trying to grab her and take her.
Oh
And
my
and
goodness.
yeah, and I guess that was the first time I
Mhm.
felt was what was like this feeling of being paralyzed, and you cannot move or scream, and it makes it worse because you are like trying, your brain is trying to understand
Mhm.
whatever you're looking at, and I'm pinching myself, like I am awake. My sister is in front of me, and
Mhm.
suddenly everything stops and disappears. I
Mhm.
didn't talk about this experience because, I remember I wanted to scream, like, Dad, come, but I could
Mhm.
not. And what could I say to my parents? Now, my parents, my father was a pediatrician, rest in peace, and my mother is a nurse. And we had a huge library in the third floor of our place, full of medical books.
Mhm.
And for some reason, I was always very interested in medicine. So I remember myself coming back from school, picking one of those books, and always sitting and trying to understand what I was seeing, all the lungs and the heart. Like, understanding our body from the inside out was so
Mhm.
amazing for me.
Mhm.
There was this day when I was 7 years old. I came back from school. I picked one of those books, And when I opened it, I saw a black and white picture with what looked like a triangle with three white lights in each corner. Now, I was 7 years old. I was born in Bogota, Colombia, year 76. Never seen something like that before. I was trying to understand the picture on the book, but suddenly it's like, as well as it happened with the spider, everything around me stopped. It's like time stopped. And I lost time there. I don't know how much time I lost there, but the feeling is that I cannot hear anymore, not my grandmother, not my sisters, not the birds, nothing. Everything goes quiet and paralyzed around me. And I remember standing with the book, like paralyzed, because I am seeing while feeling this petrifying sensation again. I am seeing these green numbers running through my brain. It was like a download when you see a computer running numbers. Those were series of zeros, ones, threes, and fives. And these green numbers were just like a computer. Now, we didn't have internet or computers back then. So this was totally strange for me. And these numbers were like translated inside my head as images. So I actually could see these craft hovering outside planet Earth. And I guess that's the first time I got kind of my first telepathic message. Well, people ask, how does it feel? It's not like a voice inside your head. It's like a feeling, it's like something was telling me, this is not the technology you know. This is a different kind of plane. We don't live on planet Earth, but we come here to visit you. And I'm seeing the numbers and I am petrified. And and after the message, everything stops. It's like reality comes back. And I'm starting hearing again the birds and my grandmother and my sisters. And I take a deep breath and I said, like, oh my God, like, what did just happen? I just went and had a seat and I'm trying to understand. And I said to myself, like, either I'm crazy or this is my imagination, but how I am going even to ask to my parents so I just decided, like, this is going to stay with me. I am going maybe to hear, maybe I will hear about it from my friends at school or my parents, but Michelle, nothing. No, the only way I could actually start to research about this, no internet, no nothing, was through books and comics. So I thought it was ghosts. I was thinking maybe about the Colombian mythology. We have many stories about ghosts and angels and whatever. So I bought Many Lives, Many Masters. And, I just was, I like something made a boom on my head. I need to know what is going on. And so I grew up like that. just wondering. My sisters were not talking about it. And so I got to university. I started my BA on social communication and journalism. And I thought I was going to be a journalist in Colombia. And I actually started working there in a TV network already. But I had this strong feeling, like my instinct was telling me, Colombia is not the place for you. You need to move. And for some, well, it's true that I was born in a little Jewish community in Bogota, and so Israel, it feels our homeland. And so, but for some, it could have been anywhere. But the feeling was Israel is the place. I told my parents, they said, you are crazy. Like, you are going to the other side of the world. Like, what are you doing? Go to Mexico, Argentina, what? Israel alone? And I
That's
said,
big.
yes.
That's
Yes,
big.
I'm
Yeah.
everything and I'm going to Israel. And so I came here, and I guess that was the breaking point too, because when I came here, technology was more advanced. And so we had ICQ, if you remember back then. Oh my God. But that was the first time I started hearing about MUFON and other experiencers and institutes and podcasters. And I said, like, oh my God, like, I am not alone. And first of all, I am not crazy. Like, this phenomenon exists, you know. And so I started researching. Unfortunately, I could not work here as a journalist because the laws of journalism are totally different. So I just decided that I'm going to take my journalism in order to fully research about everything, everyone, every single incident, every single everything. Because, my experience when I was 7 years old was really my awakening moment. And from that second on, from that download, this issue is with me 24/7. I cannot leave. I'm on the bus. Every time I have 5 minutes, and I am searching for information. Like, the responsibility is huge. And the process has been beautiful. I remember even before I came to Israel, talking with my mother, when these series like V and Star Trek started coming from the States to Colombia. Well, for me, it was like so logical. I was looking at those reptilians and telling my mom, like, Mom, that's them, we are not alone. And my mother was like, come on, this is Hollywood, what are you talking about? And so I understood, like, people were going to think that I was crazy. And it's an issue because even with family, we want to talk so much and share, but we always need to remember that even with our own families, we don't stand on the same state or stage of consciousness. And so, even understanding our own human traumas, it's complicated for a human being. Now try to understand an alien experience. You cannot go with this to your shrink because you will get hospitalized. So people just get quiet. And that's why we are fighting here with what you are doing and with what I am doing, giving other experiencers also the voice to talk, the courage, you know.
Do you find you
So,
have an easier time? Sorry, do you find you have an easier time of it now, Polly? Because I think we are in a world where people are a little more accepting of it. I mean, going back into the 70s and 80s, and my parents like, we just don't talk about things like that. And I'm like, why not? Right?
yes, it's true. It's true. And I guess it's also because we are talking more and we are seeing also this more in the news. And when we see the hearings, for example, well, the hearings are not made for us because we know us, meaning the alien community, let's say. But when an skeptic is looking at those hearings and all the information now with the age of disclosure movie, well, people need to understand that the alien news, when you watch the news, you need to be updated about the politics and economical and social, everything, and the alien situation, because this is not science fiction anymore. We are trying to pass laws about it, so we are growing consciousness with these.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it even better for us to talk with our own families. My mother, which back then was telling me this is science fiction, now she is in my Facebook group and she's totally updated about Three Eye Atlas. And she's asking what's going on. And, and she's hearing now my story and she understands better, and my sisters too. But it takes time and patience. And we need to know that we cannot come like a bomb and just open, it's step by step. And the message flows. And you know what? If those hearings and our stories touch one heart, and we put that seed on someone that was a skeptic, and suddenly this person is saying, oh my God, wait, can this be? Well, our job is done.
That's true.
Right?
Yes, planting the seed, I think, is very important, because somebody out there is going to accept, and you get those people even who it's not a matter of just belief, it's a matter of maybe they've had experience and they've just been conditioned not to talk about it. So now they
Right.
figure there's a community out there now, and they can reach out and they can be a part of that. It gives them something, a place to belong.
Right, right. And we need to take in account that it also depends so much in our cultures, the ways we were raised, our religions, but always make a difference between religion and spirituality. You can have the God you want, believe in the God you want, have the religion you want, but spirituality goes further. And I think there is an awakening in our spirituality, which makes it easier for society also to understand the alien phenomenon. Spirituality is who you are as a human being, how much you open your heart still to give hands and support each other. Stay humane. That's the huge message, help, love, empathy.
Absolutely. I think that there is a growing community, and I do think there's a bit of an awakening happening, and people are becoming more aware. People are at least becoming more curious and interested.
Yeah. Yes.
it's not all fearing, which is a really big deal.
Well, I guess they don't have an option because, if we think about the New Jersey drones, or not only New Jersey, because right now it's, all over, especially in Europe too, like airports closing, and, so people
Yeah.
don't have an option anymore. Even if they think this is science fiction, this is happening in our skies, and we don't even know one
Yes.
year later what are those drones and what is really going on. So we don't really have an option but to stay open-minded, understand that something is going on, whatever it is, whether if it's ours or not. But well,
Mm.
there is not another option but to stay aware. So
I think staying aware is a big one. Oh, sorry. You want to get that on X? Hello, Cindy. See everybody on X. We can see you. She goes, I love that. I feel there's no limitation in spirituality, and it can encompass religious bits and pieces that work for you. 100%.
yes,
100%. So,
yes.
so basically, you've gone through. You get through all the downloads. Was this like a one-time thing, or did you start getting more downloads as you went
Well, the
along?
thing is that many things started happening, especially and actually after I came to Israel, because in 2006, after having like about 4 years of a very bad headache, 24/7 headache, there was this day that I decided to go to the ER. And long story short, the neurosurgeon told me that I needed two brain surgeries as soon as possible because I had two cysts inside my brain. One of them the size of a tennis ball. Like if you see here in the left side of my head, they opened the head and just got to the cyst there. But the other one, which is the important one for my story, was in the pituitary gland. And for those that don't know, the pituitary gland is between your two eyes, behind your nose. In order to operate that cyst, they needed to go through my nose and touch the cyst and take it out. The neurosurgeon explained to me later that when he got to that cyst, he saw what looked inside of it like a tiny, super tiny little cube. He did not understand what was that or how did that get to my brain. But the moment they tried to extract that cyst from my nose, the whole thing exploded. And I almost died on the spot because my brain fluids were running through my nose, and I was dying. They just saved my life. The neurosurgeon explained that the whatever that little cube was inside, well, they don't have it because everything exploded. So after all my research and 25, like 40 years later, I think that maybe it was an implant. And well, it kind of it kind of became a biological thing with my brain. And the moment they tried to take it out, the whole thing exploded. So I don't have it. I have the MRI scanners, I have all the tests, but if it was an implant, I don't have it. In
Wow.
2013, I decided that I wanted to get pregnant. And here starts kind of the second half of my story. Because now I know, after tracking it, that this experience was happening when, like, during my ovulation cycles.
Mm.
And so my boy today, he's a 10 years old, beautiful, amazing, so proud of him, gentleman. I am in love. I am in love. He was brought by, I used a sperm donor, and well, all the tests look great, but I could not get pregnant. And so I got even into an IVF procedure. But what was starting happening is that when I was going to sleep during my ovulation cycles, I guess I was getting into this kind of state where, again, and I don't know if the paralyzation thing is kind of a frequency that they use in order to contact you, because this is the difference in my story. With, there are stories where people just see the craft and the alien and everything. In my case, it happens when I go to sleep. And so again, I get paralyzed. Like when I saw the craft and the book, when I had the download, and the feeling is that I suddenly, it's like I'm vacuumed to another place. And I sent you the pictures and the AI
Yes.
about it.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I feel like vacuumed to this soil. I land in something that looks like a Martian soil, red sand, like Australian red sands. Here in Israel, it looks very much like the Dead Sea area mountains. It's like red mountains with a very rocky situation. And I feel like lost. I just went to sleep. So I don't understand how on earth I just landed here. I feel lost. I am conscious about the situation. So I start walking and wondering, what am I doing here? How did I get here?
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly I see far away, coming towards me, a little figure. This figure, well, it looks like hovering towards me. And when it gets pretty near from me, I understand that this is a little child. This is a boy. It looks like a 5, 6 years old boy, humanoid, the hair, the nose, everything very humanoid. But when you look into his eyes, he's got these black, huge, almond gray eyes. And so,
Beautiful.
the shock is not only the eyes, but what is this little child doing in the middle of the desert? Now, I need to say that the feeling was immediately kind of a motherhood feeling. I suddenly felt like this child is mine, and I need to do everything in order to take care of him. It was very strange because I was not a mother then,
Yes.
but I felt like this boy is mine. And so he raises his hand. I take his hand and I feel really stressed But through his touch and kind of, again, this telepathy feeling of communication, he kind of calms me down and he tells me everything is okay. You don't have nothing to be scared. And he just takes me. We start walking. And suddenly we get into this place where I suddenly see a tent in the middle of nowhere. A simple, no matter tent, like a biblical tent, a Jesus tent, in the middle of. But I said, oh my God, maybe his family is here and we have shelter and maybe water. I was thinking like in earthling terms, I need
Yes.
water, shelter, food, So we get into just next to the tent, and he opens the tent, and I guess, Michelle, that is the shock of my life, because when we get inside, again, reality changes, and this is not a tent. This is a huge craft. This is a round craft. I could see 2 floors. The second floor is full of black smoked windows all around. It looks like a round craft. It's so big I cannot see the end of it. It feels like I'm just in a kind of a compound of a huge thing. In the first floor, there is like a bright light, white, coming from the ceiling. And suddenly I could hear in my left side a voice. There is an entity sitting in the left side, like kind of on a cube structure. And this entity talked with me for the first time. And the message is, we are glad you are here because you are the only one that can help us and save us right now. And feeling already lost, I remember I looked into this entity and I said, what? Like, what is going on? How did I get here? And this was a desert, and not like, who are you guys?
Yeah.
I was losing it. I was really losing it. But the guy, the little boy that picked me up in the desert, took my hand again and again. Through his touch, he calmed me down. And when he raised his other hand, I finally could see the whole place, like the whole room. This place looks sterile, clean, simple, designed, so clean that I don't know how you clean something like that. There are no switches, no cables, and the whole floor is full of beds. In each one of those beds, I could see a woman. Each one of those women were in labor or different stages of pregnancy. And under the white, bright light, there is a praying mantis staying there. She's standing there. And that's another shock. Amazingly, I did not feel scared or threatened. But the feeling is like an earthquake inside your head, because the brain is trying to understand this huge insectoid in front of you, trying to make sense of whatever you are looking at. But when I looked into her eyes, it was beautiful, because I could see through her eyes a profound knowledge about the creation of the universe, DNA, and evolution. It was like seeing 10 movies at the same time. And suddenly I got a message from her. Like, again, like telepathically, I felt like inside my chest, something told me, now it's time to do your job. And so, don't ask me why, but my feeling was that all that knowledge I gathered about medicine since I was a little child, I needed to use it now so I could go and help every single woman and baby that was already born. So I started running and grabbing in my hands whatever I could in order to help with those pregnancies. Um, some of the babies were already born next to the women's beds, were like little beds for those babies. What I can say is that all of them had these black almond gray eyes.
Hmm.
The women, my feeling now that I think about it is that they were conscious about the fact that they were in labor, but it's kind of they can play with our realities even on the same time. So they were not aware that they were going through an hybridization program. They were aware of the labor, but not of the hybridization program going around them. Now, next to those beds, there were like little gray aliens. Um, I guess the best way I can describe them is like, like Skinny Bob. They look like Skinny Bob,
Yeah.
but they totally ignored me. Like I did, like ignored me. Like, who am I? They were totally concentrated on whatever they were doing and whatever the mantis was saying. And after I finished checking all those women and babies, especially for me, the babies, since I am a little girl till today, I have this deep connection with children, this empathy for, it's like I can understand their souls different. And so for me, it was very important to hold those babies, hug them, and show them love and sing for them and even kiss them, because I didn't know really if they were going to get human love. The feeling is that I didn't know what was going to happen with those babies. So I was trying to warm them and give them a lot of love for the women too. And so when I finish helping them and everything stops. as it started and I go back to my bed, I always wake up immediately very lost and conscious that I had again that experience. In the same time, I was trying to get pregnant and losing my pregnancies. So, um, when I track all the experiences, um, I see that nothing is a coincidence anymore, but I am getting more like synchronicities and confirmations also with the operation, the surgery, and then trying to get pregnant and everything happening during my ovulation cycles and maybe the implant. So after all, there was this time that I had the 10th experience. And when I came back, I felt so bad and lost and worried and, trying to understand. I remember I made a coffee and suddenly I see this mark on my leg. And it was so weird because, having some knowledge about medicine, I said maybe I'm having an allergy. And so I checked the rest of my body, but I was not having respiratory issues or another kind of signs on my nothing. This thing looked like a cow, I guess it's the way to describe it.
Mm.
Um, it looks like I was burned, printed somehow, and it took about 24 hours to disappear. So I guess, especially in my case, that's another confirmation. Like, because, I was wondering for years, maybe I am crazy. And maybe that mark is their way to tell me, you are not. This is happening. And, this is your confirmation.
You got to come back with proof of some sort.
Yes, yes, because people are always saying, if you get to the craft, bring something, Mikio Kaku is saying that all the time. If you get there, bring something. Well, I guess that's the way to confirm the whole situation, And so it's been a process with my family, with myself, with the phenomenon. And I guess today I opened a Facebook group like 5 months ago because I was supporting many groups around the world, like for 3 years, 4 years. And I suddenly said, like, I need to bring more information and more stories and more work like yours, Michelle, and so people can be informed about our experiences and our work and what is going on around the world. So join us in Area 50 Human UFO UAP News, and you will be updated.
Absolutely. I think it's great. I mean, you really add a lot of content there for people to watch or to read, which it's enlightening stuff. Like if that doesn't wake you up, I don't really know what will do it. So
Yeah.
I do. I think it's important. There are a lot of really good shows out there and a lot of people who want to raise awareness outside of the political side of everything. question. Cindy says, since you've had your son, have you been able, or have you been back to help? Yeah, have you been back to help those on board craft?
Well, after I had my boy, the 10th experience continues during my ovulation cycles. But I think what is going on lately is that my frequency has changed. Just because, well, the last 2 years have been really tough. We've been at war. I don't want to go there because I don't want to go political here, but I've been at war, running from missile to missile. And basically, I've been in kind of a survival mood situation. So I'm very concentrated on keeping me and my boy alive and my family and surviving and praying for the best. So sometimes I think these things interfere, our moods, whatever is going on in our lives. Sometimes we are so worried about whatever is going on that it makes it more difficult to connect with our souls and our, within ourselves. And so the contact is more difficult. That's my feeling. But what I can say is that the sightings don't stop. My boy actually, and I think that's the beauty of it, when we start talking about it, well, my boy is totally conscious about the phenomenon and he talks about it. Actually, he's kind of curious because he was drawing crafts since he was a little child, since he was in kindergarten,
Wow.
And he talks about it, and actually he saw his first sighting. It was a beautiful one because this one was a golden craft. If you go to my YouTube channel, it's by Polly Rotterman in YouTube. There is this golden craft, I've never seen that kind of gold. And this was in his birthday. And he said, Mom, that's them. And I said, you can see that? And he said, yes. And since then, we've been having sightings together. And of course, he hears me talking about it. But he's got his own theories and his own, and I think it's beautiful because consciousness, when we talk about this phenomenon in a generational way, it's not only like with the aliens, it's within us too. When we talk about it with our kids, that's the way we are growing consciousness. And if we don't get to see this closure, whatever that means, in my opinion, it already happened, But our kids will be our voice in the future, and they already know about this. So the connection will be different. I pray so. I hope so.
Yes. Oh, I'm sure of it. The next generation, there already seems to be so much interest, and there's the arrival of all these new crystal children or star seeds, and it's phenomenal because you just see children now who actually have no fear about talking about this.
Exactly. But you know why? Because back in our times, well, people today question more. Our youngers question more. And that's so important. Always question everything. Because we were taught, whatever we were taught that there are only 9 planets. And that's it. You know?
Yes.
And today we are talking about Three-Eye Atlas. So what the hell? You know? It's
It's an
crazy.
incredible universe, isn't it?
Yes. And every single day we are finding new things in the universe, and it's beautiful. That's why I also think that, there is a division as usual, between us, like a battle of versions between Three-Eye Atlas being an alien craft or not. Now, I think Avi Love is doing an amazing job giving us all this scientific data about it. Now, my opinion is that, of course, he is excited about it because we haven't seen this kind of data never, ever in our lives. So I don't think he's trying to convince us this is alien. What he's trying to say through his data is, look, we have a weird thing here going on, okay? So we should pay attention and actually think about the implications for humankind, because Three-Eye Atlas is not going to be the last object around our solar system. And we don't know if there will be a Three-Eye Atlas one day, like pointing towards Earth. So instead of laughing about it, let's take the scientific data seriously and think as a humankind what we need to do. How do we need to prepare in case of? Did you think about it? Because I need to think about it every day. I have been at war. This is a survival mode when I need to think about water, food, my boy, missiles. Well, it's the same thing. What are you going to do if the next object is coming to Earth? So I guess that's the alien message too. My feeling is that we need to go back to the beauty of who we are as humans, our feelings, we are different, and that's the beauty of us, but it should not make a division from us, which means stay humane, give hands, support each other, love each other. Doesn't matter if the color of your skin, or if you're a Democrat, or your religion, or what, it doesn't matter. That is where spirituality is so important. Who are you as a human being? It doesn't matter your background, That's the message. And it's not so complicated. Love each other. It's not so hard. They are not asking for too much,
So when you're thinking like about all the fear mongering that's going on, all of these messages out there where you should be fearful, and some people, their experiences are not as enlightening as many of them are. So
Yes.
How do you reach those people?
Well, we need to understand that because each one of us is a different world. We all have been in different families with different religions, different values. We all feel our experiences different, and the traumas are different. That's why we should not judge, because the way I react to something is not the same way someone else will react to that same experience. So maybe in my case, just because the way I was raised and the way I see my life, the mantis was spectacular and I did not feel threatened. But maybe someone else just spit in his pants, you know? And it's legitimate. And that's why I see every single one of our experiences as unique. And the fact that I felt the praying mantis as a beautiful, loving, comforting entity doesn't mean that my experience is the law. No one is an expert. We are all in different stages of consciousness and knowledge. But till the aliens don't sit here with us on the table, no one is an expert. And so we should respect every single one of the experiencers' experience. Period. Not laughing, not judging, no nothing. And that should be the strong, that should be the breaking point for the experiencers too. Because you don't need to be an alien experiencer in order to be judged.
Mm.
So no matter what you lived in your life, for good or for bad, it's your story. So stand by it. You know what you saw, you know what you felt. And there are always people, there will always be people judging you. But in the other hand, you have people like Michelle and like me. You can always come and talk, and you have open hands to come and share. We are a beautiful community. So come, share, talk,
Yes.
like, subscribe.
All of that. So you have to let go of the fear, essentially.
Yes,
The fear, I
yes,
think, is what holds a lot of people back.
yes, it is. It is. And it's scary because we already live in a scary society
Mhm.
where evil lately is having a party. And we don't want to lose the few people that we have by talking about an alien experience. But you need to understand that actually, by talking about it, you will find the right people for your path inside this huge community. So I always talk about life like a train. You are riding your train, you are inside your train. People will come on and people will go off. And you will learn from everything and everyone. And just find the right people for your train. That's it. And the ones that are judging and everything, just let them go,
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay.
Yeah. Not everybody can follow along on your path. Sometimes you're here just to, as you said earlier, plant the seed. And then at that point, people go on their own journey and see where it takes them. But that little seed is sometimes all it takes to put them
Exactly.
right? On the proper path.
Exactly. And we need to understand too that there are people that are still laughing about this phenomenon.
Mm.
So we need to understand that there are people that, even if they had an alien experience, or even if you try to put that seed, they will totally ignore it. They don't want to deal with it. They will totally ignore it. And it's also fine. I guess bottom line, when we talk about disclosure, this is not craft landing in the land of the White House. We are talking about the calling of the awakened, those that heard and addressed that call. Like when I was 7 years old and I had that download, and I decided not to ignore it, but to research and find myself inside my own story. So those people are the ones that will, by the end of the story, understand what is really going on. And those that decided to ignore it, well, it's going to be tougher for them, but it is what it is. We will need to deal. We are ready. We are ready to do it. We are just, the government as usual is trying to holding us back. But they cannot hide this anymore. We know this is over. We are in the Congress. Disclosure happened. And we don't need the craft standing, because disclosure is inside each one of us. We are disclosure. And the more we talk and share our experiences, we build this puzzle. We are the little puzzles, the little pieces. So we will build the big puzzle.
This is an ancient thing, and I think it's been within us for generations and lifetimes. I mean, this is here long before we ourselves are here. I think for some of us,
Yeah,
it's very instinctual to gravitate towards, our beings and friends from the stars, as so many of the, indigenous people have said. They're incredible stories of these connections that go back hundreds, if not thousands, and hundreds of thousands of years. So,
exactly.
right, this is like going home.
Exactly. And I always wonder, why did we lose that beautiful connection that we had as Native Americans? Me, myself, I have Native American genes. I come from a tribe that is in the north of Colombia, in the limit of Venezuela. It's called the Wayu tribe. And when you see all their handworks, it's everything related to the stars. Their knowledge and their connection was so profound. And I ask myself, why did we lose it? Well, maybe because we lost our spirituality, converting it into religion, which is human control. And
Conditioning.
yeah, exactly. That is where we lost it. When our spirituality was imposed by religion. See?
Mm.
And so that's why we need to go back to our seeds and the connection to the universe.
Mm. Go back to basics. Um, Wayne says you have to be good in your own skin. We all learn at different levels and in different ways. Not everyone around you will understand you or your experiences at the moment, but they may get it one day.
Yes, they do. Sometimes they don't. But you know what? If your most important people get it, and somehow support you, the job is done. It doesn't matter. The most important is the family. And so when it takes time, but they will get it. We are not crazy. We are normal people just having a different experience just because somehow it needed to happen. I think we all have the possibility to be awakened. It's kind of in our genes. And it depends on a specific situations and even on your state of mind. And, again, it depends on so many things. Where you stand with yourself, so many things. But we can all make it.
Do you feel that's why so many of us feel, and this comes to mind because Wayne said, because I never felt like it belonged on this planet in this specific time. It seems very foreign to me. And many of us feel like we're either sleepwalking or that we have this void, that just sort of looms over us. Is it because we're really not, were we not from here, or because we've been experiencers? We travel while we sleep, clearly, because you do it with great conviction. I know I travel when I sleep. I just wake up sometimes going, God, I feel exhausted. I must have worked hard. But there's always that feeling for so many people, a sense of not belonging right in this physical place.
Yes, it is. And it's so weird because, I remember myself being a little child and always looking into the sky and telling myself, like, it's like a call. It's like the feeling that there is something else there, And so, unfortunately, I think it's not only life and how much we are trying to survive in this world, but also technology is affecting us so much. We are connecting less and less with our inner selves. So much, with the cell phone, with the phones and computers and
artificial frequencies and such.
Exactly. And AI in general is driving me crazy. Well, it's making my work harder because for me now, trying to understand if I'm seeing a real craft or not is a huge issue, but people following the AI computer like is God. Like, I don't understand it. I'm always wondering, like, do you know where that information comes from? Because someone is putting that information for the public to go straight to ChatGPT and get it immediately. But who is giving that information? And how much are you asking questions about the answer that you got? So just people are going like blind, and I hate that. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous because we are not thinking by ourselves anymore. We are letting a computer thinking for us. So
people aren't doing proper research anymore. They're taking the AI version, and unfortunately, you have to remember, it's still learning. It's in the learning stages from a human being, and that's just not always correct, because they tend to take bits and pieces of information, from everywhere. I still, when possible, love to grab a book and actually read it. So
Well, no, it's crazy, but it's crazy to the point where, I remember coming back from school, and when you needed to do the homework with encyclopedias and, rewriting from the books, everything, and, my boy came back from school a few days ago, and he said, "Oh, Mom, I have a Torah assignment that I need to do." I said, "Okay, so where is the Torah? Where is the book?" And he said, "It's at school. I forgot." So you cannot. It's fine. We will just, Chat GPT will. They use it like. So I'm telling him all the time, don't lose the instinct for research. Don't stay with the Chat GPT and that's it. Please, please. I'm begging you. This
yes.
is awful.
Yes. Well, they're making, I think, AI, you can get like chat apps for even people who are grieving so they can make, recreate their loved one and just put all
Well,
of this into it, dating and grieving and just
well, it's not
companionship. It's
only
scary.
that, there
Yeah,
are people
it's
that
scary.
literally have taken their lives, like following the Chat GPT instructions.
Mhm.
So come on, we need to stay objective, concentrate, research, always question,
Mhm.
and be
Yeah.
careful, really careful.
Mhm. Wayne says something interesting too, because one of the platforms that we are airing on, because we are on 8 different types of platforms tonight, but it actually has ads for AI girlfriends and boyfriends here of all
Oh.
places, right? That's sort of like, wow. So it's covering all the bases, I think. So
Yeah, everything is covered.
yes, taking over. Generations don't want to do the research. They prefer the easy route. It's true. It's like cheat notes back in high school, way back in the day. You could buy these little books. They were like cheat notes. Now it's just it's all there. It's all there. And I thought I read something today about AI and disclosure or concerns with ET contact sort of. I have to try to see if I can find this, because I read this and I thought to myself, what is this craziness? and and apparently, yeah, I read that and thought this is quite unusual. So I'm just going to see if I can bring it up while we're
Interesting.
talking. I know. Okay, hold on.
Was it about the age of disclosure?
Yeah, it says, "Are AI and non-human intelligences interacting?" And this is from, Stephen Bissett, State of the World, so Paradigm Research, and this is one of the
Oh,
articles.
yes.
And it says, "The State of the World Forum explores mounting evidence that AI, essentially a non-human intelligence, may already be interacting beyond human oversight."
Right.
What? Wow. So,
Right.
right? So
I saw
that's
that
something.
article and it's so interesting, as well as the question, if AI wasn't made by aliens too. So,
Mhm.
oh my God, it's crazy. What do you
Mm.
think?
Well, it just says right here, a planetary gathering, unlike any in history, will convene December 14th to the 17th. One of the major topics will most likely be AI and non-human intelligence interacting outside and beyond human awareness and involvement. So it's taking in the impact of AI on our world as a staggering proposition, grappling with the reality of technology, advanced NHIs, interacting changes with AI, and looking at humanity's role on Earth and the universe. So it looks like AI was a bit of a concern on a larger scale, which could maybe
Well, it
affect some
has
kind
to
of
be.
disclosure. I
It
don't know.
has to be. It has to be a concern
Do you want me to
because,
just you want me to forward this email to you? It's like, while I'm on
yes,
it?
please. No, because
Okay.
please do, because I don't know if I will find it. I
Okay, I just sent it to
remember.
you. Yeah.
Awesome. I remember I read the article and I was saying, like, wait, I did not think about it.
Mhm.
Like, could there be like an alien AI situation going through humans? Like, what? You know,
It's a
time to
thing.
digest.
Yes. It is, it's a thing. I mean, obviously, there's some kind of a concern. But you get to that point where we're human beings, we're trying to, we have our own levels of communication. But if you have this artificial intelligence, for example, can you imagine if that's what non-human intelligences are starting to interact with because of the level of information, for example, that they may have?
Well, it's not
I know.
the control,
Mm,
you know,
yes.
the information, the control on people. Well, you don't know if it's for good or for bad. The fact that it's maybe alien related, well, you don't know, because I personally don't believe all the alien species are like, as
Yeah.
humans. There are good humans, are bad humans. Well,
Same.
I
Same
guess
applies. Yeah. Yes.
exactly. And it's not even because they are bad species. It's
Mm,
because that's the way they are. It's like you cannot ask from a spider to behave like a dog, right?
exactly. No, that's
So
true. That's true. Maybe we're like food. So maybe they
yeah,
just look at us
well,
differently.
we
Yeah.
think about it in
Mm,
human terms
mhm.
because we feel and everything like humans, but
Yes.
maybe they just behave as they behave.
Mhm.
How
It's
can we
well, it's
judge?
well, it's their nature as well. We can't necessarily expect to change that because it doesn't suit our narrative or it's outside of our
Exactly,
comfort level. There are people
exactly.
who have all kinds of different experiences, and like I was saying earlier, some people have great experiences, other people maybe misinterpret their experiences or out because they're just scared, and there are those who have really bad experiences. So I guess it depends
Yes,
on who you are connecting with.
yes, yes. And I guess what's important here is, even if it was a bad experience, always look for help. Talk. Don't stay with that. It's traumatic, and we
Mm,
cannot deny the post-trauma effects about these too, and it's legitimate. So please try to find the right people that you can also talk about this, because again, you cannot go to every shrink. You need someone that you can go and talk openly about what happened. And it's
not
it's
AI.
and not that no,
Not AI.
exactly.
No.
Exactly. And now that we were talking about it, it's
Yeah.
like, because we don't know the other species, thinking that they could be working with AI, not knowing from where this AI is coming, I don't know that combination if it's good for us.
Mm,
See? if the aliens that are using the AI, let's say, are not benevolent, and AI feels bigger than us, it's everywhere, it's controlling everywhere. Our information, our thoughts, our media, our data, everything. So again, what are the implications for humankind here? Those are the
Valid.
real questions.
Valid concerns. Absolutely. Um, I mean, reaching out to your family, of course, is always, the best option if you have it, because they may be critical or they may try to be understanding. I found later in life, before my mother passed, I was able to say to her, okay, this is my thoughts on, because I was just like you. I just love to look at the stars. I knew I had experiences of some sort. And, you know, kinds of information about, like her parents and grandparents. And I'm just like,
Really?
why is it when I tried to bring this up when I was like 15, you absolutely wanted no conversation?
Oh
But
my
now it's like,
God.
yeah, now it's this influx. There was this influx of information to which I have a lot of gratitude. And my father always told me stories. So I knew it was from both sides. And it felt, it was such a sense of relief to finally,
Yeah.
right, be given this validation. Like, were you able to go to your family like later, like as an adult, and say, look, if this was a thing, what are your thoughts? Or is that still like a taboo conversation?
No, on the contrary, my family right now is very open about it. They are following and supporting and watching all the process. Um, well, again, just because we are not all in the same state of consciousness, I cannot openly talk about everything, but let's say that they are more comprehensive and open about the phenomenon. And actually my mother told me, can you please find the age of disclosure in Spanish? And I said, oh my God, of course.
Wow.
Like, yeah, that's huge. That's
Mhm,
huge.
mhm.
So we can make that change. It's a matter of patience, it's a matter of quantity, just step by step.
I have to say about that film, so many people waited for it. And Dr. Stephen Greer has been completely anti film.
I
Or
know.
he feels it's giving a bad message that,
Yeah.
again, making people fearful where they may not need to be fearful. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the question is fearful how? You know,
The wrong impression?
because,
Because
well,
so many people, he believes, I think he's had pretty good experiences.
the thing is that, in my opinion, we need to make here a big difference between fear and being prepared for whatever can come. It's like when I had to do like, you are going to have a surgery in your heart, right? You rather know what is going to happen. If you are going to be open, if they are going to take the heart, if you rather know, so you can be prepared. So it doesn't mean you need to fear. It just means you need to take all the precautions just in case something happens. That's all.
Mhm.
You know.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
the thing is that people that are not in our state of consciousness, when they see movie, The Age of Disclosure, either they can take it as a joke or they can take it as something that, the alien invasion. And we know that the government, that's their thing. The alien invasion that's their thing. We know it. So we are not eating that bullshit anymore. Again, that's not for us. It's for the ones that are like kind of getting the situation right now. So we need to make a huge difference between fear and being prepared.
I think
Those
that's a
are
big
two.
one. Yes. Do your own research as well. I would love to see a film like that come out with experiencers.
Oh
know.
my God, that's my dream. We need an experiencer's hearing. That's what we need. All of us there.
Yeah, I
and
wonder how
really,
that would go. I
oh
wonder
my
how that would
God.
go.
No, they will pull their heads. They are not ready. They are so not ready. Or maybe they just don't want to be ready, because they know we know. So they don't want to be ready. They don't want us there, but we will make it.
I think for experiencers and contactees, we already know. It's like you say, we are the disclosure. So why do you feel it's so important? Coming, I'll ask from because Stephen Bassett's been on many times because this is why, and he's up there in Congress, but from one experiencer to another, why is it important to have disclosure, or is it really?
Well, I think the more we share our experiences, the more we can have confirmations about what happened to us. And so we have a deeper understanding about our own selves and how we were created and our past and our history. So you were asking about my family, if they talked about it. They didn't. They didn't. I am the only one in my family talking about this, but I am sure I am not the only one that had these experiences
I was
in
going
my
to be my
family.
next question. Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure I'm not the only one. And there you go, that my boy is drawing crafts even before he heard me talking about it. So this is generational somehow. And the effort comes when we go out of the wardrobe and we give our experience to the public. Because when someone hears me talking and hear, for example, about the hybridization program or the Mantid or whatever, and we can compare our experiences, it's a confirmation, and those little confirmations are the ones that are telling us that we are in the right path. So it will take some more years, but talking is the key, and respecting is the key, and empathy and love is the key, and support is the key.
I agree. And I think it's a great place to leave everything off. So I have all of your links, because there are many, in the show description. So anybody that wants to find you can just go click on a link there. But where can people find you? And do you have any more interviews coming up? What do you tell us?
Well, there is the 21st There will be another interview coming. There are many projects. I'm working very hard now with my Facebook new group. So come and join me. Area 50 Human, UFO, UAP News, and in YouTube, Instagram, and X, you can find me by Polly Rotterman, double T, double N, and same thing, Area 50 Human, UFO, UAP News. I'll see you there. Keep sharing, liking, subscribing, and hold hands.
I love that. I love it. So I will go find you on X as well. And
Yeah,
we're
sure.
airing live there tonight. We're live on X tonight, as well as Rumble
Awesome.
and all of these YouTube channels and Roku TV as well. So you guys can find this everywhere, and there will be a couple of hundred different places where you'll be able to find the archives after the fact. But thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us and sharing an incredible story. And thank you to everybody who has been in chat. You guys make it that much more exciting. You really do. We have a great chat community. So we appreciate
Yes.
it all so much. So thank you. And thanks everybody on Polly's page as well, because you guys were awesome. So welcome. So lots coming up. For those of you guys who do follow all the shows, tomorrow I will be on Ethereal Encounters, talking about the ancient lore and forgotten history of dragons. You heard me right. So yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tuesday night, or Tuesday during the day, Tuesday afternoon, Beyond the Outer Realm, Ira Wolfnothson returns, and she's going to be talking about her book, Dominicanus, You, Your Dog in Heaven. So essentially, we're going to be talking about pets and consciousness and how it's been,
Love it.
Right? I love it. Lighthearted
Love it.
this month. It's wonderful. It really is. Monday night, guys, you will find me on, because I am also a co-host, moderator host on Two Real Cryptid Legends with the incredible Ron Moorhead and Daryl Denton. So they're going to have a couple of very,
that sounds amazing.
oh, it's going to be great. They've got special guests that are going to be on, and you're not going to want to miss this one. So next Wednesday, Jason Hewlett returns to talk about his new documentary with Small Town Monsters, Sasquatch Legacy. I've seen it. It's amazing. Thursday, Elsa Dillon returns, and we're going to be talking about past lives, prophecies, oracles, so much more. It's going to be just a fun-filled week. So with all that being said, we'll see you tomorrow on Ethereal Encounters. You can catch it here on the Outer Realm YouTube page as well. And have a great weekend if I don't see you all. And thank you, dear Polly. I love you.
Thank you. Love you very much. You are the best.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish I could give
Love
a
you
virtual
all.
hug. Yeah, virtual hug.
Yes, totally.
Good night, everyone. And thank you all for tuning in to the Outer